Okay, let's stop right there for a second. So the homeowner comes out and sees.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you're at the wrong roof and you got half of my roof tore off. Some people like that 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying I don't. I worked a 9-to-5 for a long time, worked in a chicken house for 6 years. So
Yeah.
I mean, when I said I grew
That's
up
a
in the
hard-
sticks, I grew up in the sticks, man. Take the young years to grow. Take 3 years of 7 days a week. Trying to get out and do it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Mind Your Own Business podcast. I'm attorney Jerry Parisi, and today we've got Jarrett Green with All Pro Roofing. Welcome, Jarrett.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for being on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you're pretty young to be a business owner. Tell us how old you are.
I am 28.
28 years young. Awesome. So you own All Pro Roofing.
I do, yes, sir.
Congrats.
Yep,
That's
thank you.
amazing. And obviously you do roofing. What else do you guys do?
So we do general contracting as well.
Okay.
We can build anything from slab up. So mostly residential. We do some commercial work as well.
Okay. But roofing is your bread and butter, if I have
Yep.
that correct, right?
Yep.
So tell me how you got started in the roofing industry.
So I've been in the roofing industry about 9 years now. I started, right out of high school. Just right about a year after high school. Kind of fell into sales. I was never really a people person and kind of the quiet guy in the room. Never really was a talker until I got involved in sales. Kind of thrown out in the
Thrown into the wild.
Thrown into the wild, man. It was hard. First couple of years was very stressful. Not knowing really, no structure, no mindset of what to do. And then worked for some companies that we didn't disagree on things, or we didn't agree on things. We had some agree to disagree moments, and I decided, I'm going to take a chance, and do my own thing. So we started business in 23. And 3 years later, here we are. We're still pushing. Just hired a couple new guys and trying to make it work. So,
What was it like taking that leap as a young man? So 23, 3 years ago, you were 25. What was it like taking that leap to be, your own boss at that point?
so it's kind of a crazy story.
We love crazy.
So my wife, and she'll vouch for me, I was at a Wendy's parking lot in Spout Springs, and I had $2.68 in my account. So I had no money.
So no 4 for 4.
No. So no, not even that. I couldn't buy my kids food. And I was a primary caretaker, and I still am at the time. But I told my wife, I was like, we are homeless. Like, yes, we have a house to live in, but we are broke.
Mhm.
So I took out a loan of $10,000 from a friend of mine. And I said,
I was going to say, who gave you $10,000?
So I said, I'll pay you back in 3 months. And took the leap of faith. And she was like, I really don't want you to do this. And I said, I can do it. So it took me 2 years by myself to grow my company. Now, we're still a small company. We're not some big multi-million-dollar company.
Sure.
But we do very well. And kept progressing from there and started to hire people. I think that was the hardest thing, is hiring people and figure out who is the right fit for the company, because sales, door-to-door sales, is not easy. People find those struggles in themselves and figure out that they don't really want to do door-to-door sales pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's 100% commission. So it's either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. But my genuine purpose to this is to honestly help people. So that's why I wanted to start my own company, and why I've drove myself to push so far.
Cool. What did you do with that $10,000 to get you off the,
So just essential equipment, essential equipment, boots, clothing, normal stuff. I had bought cards from Canva, like very simple things. I was actually a sole proprietor for 2 years on my company, and just finally got an LLC open. It was a very rough first couple of years starting, but we've actually restructured the whole business for this year. But that first 10,000 was just business license, insurance, make sure that we were covered, doing things correctly. As Georgia is not a licensed state, we try to be, the most professional and trusted roofer that we can physically for a homeowner or a property owner.
When you say Georgia's not a licensed state, you mean roofers don't need to get a special license to start doing roofing work?
Correct. Yeah. You can open a roofing company in less than a month. So get a business license, you have insurance, and you can open up Jerry's Roofing. So you're ready to rock in a month. And that's what's really throwing Georgia for a loop is there's 5,900 contractors in Georgia.
Jeez.
So there's a lot of people. It's a very saturated business, and it's very overwhelming as a homeowner, especially with door knockers. Because if I came to your home, Jerry, and I knocked on your door, you're trusting me to put a $20,000 roof within those first 30 seconds of meeting you.
Yeah.
So it can be very nerve-wracking for a homeowner, and that's why door-to-door sales is very hard. But that's why we try to show what we can offer before we even step on the roof. This is where we're at. This is who we are. Referrals, testimonies, and of that nature. Yeah.
So are you guys still doing door-to-door sales to get business?
I do door-to-door sales every day. I do very minimal storm chasing. Like, yes, this is what we do. Like if we had hail here today, of course, we're going to be out helping. We're located at a Fly Branch, but I don't like to storm chase and do things incorrectly. And what I mean by that is like Jasper, for example, had 2.5-inch hail about a week ago. So about as big as my palm.
Jeez.
And there was like 5,000 roofers there inside of Jasper. And Jasper is literally in the middle of nowhere. Like there's nothing out there. It's just farmland and old antique.
And a Jeep dealership, right?
Yeah.
Jasper Jeep.
Yeah. It's just a mom and pop store and it's out in the middle of the sticks. So it doesn't bother me. That's where I'm from. But
okay.
The amount of people who cut corners in this business, and I don't mean that maliciously to anybody. There's so many people that will do roofs. Like, for example, if I did a roof at $15,000, there's some companies that are going to cut that in half. And I will tell that homeowner, we're not the most expensive. We're not the cheapest. We make sure we don't cut corners and we do it correctly so that you don't have problems later. Because if I do things that are costly, I'm going to have to come back out here in another year and redo the whole thing. It's going to be more costly the next time. So it can be very difficult at times to run a correct business and correct structure.
So when a storm that bad hits a town like Jasper, you say the vultures come out and there's roofers everywhere.
It's a flood.
And what's the sales pitch that they come out and make to people?
Every normal roofer is going to say, hey, for example, my name's Jarrett with All Pro. We're here in the area. As you know, we did have storms here last night, extensive hail damage. We can work with your insurance company and get them to approve the roof, and then we can build it for you. But that, as a homeowner, doesn't show me enough. Like, hey, I have a random person coming and knocking at my door. And for example, if I go and knock that door and then there's 50 other roofers also out there knocking the same door, it's very frustrating for a homeowner. So then it just turns into a whole hostile conversation.
Yeah.
And that's eventually what it gets to. So for example, Jasper, I knocked one door there and I went home. Did not knock any more doors after that. One homeowner.
What happened?
It was 8:02. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to start knocking at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is early.
Mm-hmm.
But there's already 50 roofers in the same neighborhood knocking doors. Knocked on one door, Mr. Barnes. I said, hey, my name's Jarrett with All Pro. He goes, yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. I had a roofer come here and knock on my door at 6 o'clock this morning. And I was like,
6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I didn't even know what to say. I was like, apologizing. I was like, I'm sorry. He goes, yep, I'm going to keep my door shut and I'm not answering another one after this because I know y'all are going to be in through here.
Yeah.
So it can be very hectic at times, but I don't like to door knock unless I absolutely have to. If we're helping someone in the neighborhood, if we're doing Jerry's roof, I'm going to help his neighbors and I'm going to ask for referrals off of that. The word of mouth is the best business you can have.
Yeah.
You can do videos and advertising all day or paid Google ads. Word of mouth, knowing who Jarrett is or who Jerry is working for All Pro to come out and work for us, how their experience was. That's the best lead of generation that we can hit.
Awesome. So has word of mouth been able to, I guess, help you grow your business in these past few years?
Yeah. So, yes, to an extent, we try to get testimonials from each homeowner that we do, whether it's a property or a property complex or multifamily or commercial or residential. We try to get testimonials on what we did wrong. And I like constructive criticism. If we did something wrong, I want you to tell me.
Awesome.
Okay, so if I messed something up here or you didn't like if you got a blueberry bush that you didn't want crushed and we crushed it, I'm going to dig that blueberry bush up and I'm going to replace it. I've had homeowners ask, like, hey, I do not want nails in my pool. If I get a nail in the pool and I told you I wouldn't, it's probably not going to be a very good referral from you guys. But yes, it has helped grow us. We did a church in Roswell last year, which got us like an additional like 30-something roofs.
Oh, geez.
So we did a cash-based price. There was actually 7 bids on that, and we came in a little bit lower and tried to actually help them because I'm also a Christian myself. So I like the church communities. I think people are great in there. That's their place of worship. That's where they want to go to feel safe. And their roof was absolutely falling apart. So I think helping people out there, yes, it's what I get paid to do, but I also want to make people know who we are, and business wise, who's helping them do this, who's in our community that's actually putting a foot forward to help us. Because their roof was it was a really bad condition, and nobody wanted to do anything. Some companies were $40,000 more than us.
Jeez.
We were at normal profits where we needed to be at, and we did it for that, and we had 7 other people bidding on the job. And we're just a small company. I mean, you got multi-million-dollar companies in Georgia. And sometimes, and I tell this to every homeowner, most of the bigger companies are just a number. They treat homeowners like they're a number. We try to build a relationship with our homeowners. So think of like a big church, for example. If I had 3,000 people in a church as a pastor, I'm not going to know all those 3,000 people.
Yeah.
It's just a number. Hey, good to see you. Hey, how are you? But if I had 15 people, I'm going to know them very well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a smaller deal.
So it's a mega church versus a community church.
Yeah.
Kinda. I think that's the same way that we try to run our business, right? There's the billboard guys in personal injury that everybody sees the commercials and billboards, but there's no way that we'll not mention their names, but that those guys know who their clients are or what their cases are about.
Yeah.
I think that's sort of a shame.
You have to build that connection with whatever industry you're in.
Yeah.
You have to build that connection. You have to build that connection with your clients. They're trusting you to whatever work you're doing for them, whether it's something small or whether it's something huge, like replacing a $30,000 roof, or if you're trusting them to help them out with an insurance situation. Whether someone gets injured, they're expecting you to help them out to get paid. So building that trust is a big issue.
So how do you go about building a relationship with somebody that you want to sell to?
I would say just you need to be honest with them. For example, if it's a roof situation, if I can't physically get them to a full roof replacement at this time, we're not making insurance claims. That's what we primarily do, is insurance claims for storms. If you're not ready yet, you need to be honest with them. Say, hey, Jerry, I'm giving you a peace of mind today. You're not ready for an insurance claim yet. Don't push off more than you can chew. I'd rather be honest with that homeowner, say, hey, your roof's not ready, rather than just filing a claim and having a 50-50 shot, than being honest with them, saying, hey, let's wait a couple more storms, because that person is probably going to say, hey, I'm going to give Jarrett a call from All Pro. He was pretty cool with me. Let's give him a chance when he's being upfront with us. And that's so.
So what do you mean by that? Is that after a storm, maybe there's some damage, but there's not enough that the insurance company will replace the whole roof?
Yeah. So sometimes we get storm damages. Like a couple weeks ago, we got 50-mile-an-hour winds, and we got on a roof and there was a couple of damaged shingles. So we went ahead and tarped them.
Okay.
Told them, like, look, we just need to wait for a couple more storms. We come back out here and then we can file a claim.
Is it an easy process for you dealing with the insurance companies? Tell us how difficult it is to deal with insurance companies. Obviously, we know from the personal injury side how difficult they can be, but from the roofing industry.
So we had a lady in Augusta from Hurricane Helene. She had probably a 5-foot wide oak tree fall through her house.
Jeez.
They paid her $62,000. Now, I'm not going to disclose who the insurance company is, but if most people know anything about roofing, they're going to know who that company is.
Okay.
$62,000 is not going to cut it for a total loss.
Of her house?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it's a total loss. It split the house in two down to the foundation you're talking HVAC, plumbing, rafters. It took it 1.5 years for us to restructure that claim, and we got her like $240,000.
Wow.
So, that's what she owed. She lost her house. It completely it's unlivable.
Yeah.
So they basically said, we'll put a tarp on it, to a sense. And I don't know if legally I could talk about that, but they said, we're going to put a tarp on it and you can continue to live in the house until you can make repairs for $62,000. And I'm like, guys, $30,000 is going to cover the roof.
Yeah.
You're talking structure, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, all the 9 yards. And she's a widow of 80-something years old. You're just going to leave an 80-year-old lady to live in a house? Like, that's, in my mind, that's criminal.
Yeah.
As a homeowner, you pay your premiums every single year. You expect to get reimbursed.
Absolutely.
For a 15-year roof. You've paid, let's just say you're your premiums are $2,500. You paid almost double what the cost of a roof is for the price of a claim. Like, hey, act in good faith on here and pay me what I've paid you guys over the last 15 years to be covered.
In that case, what did you guys have to do to get that full coverage for that lady?
So we had PAs involved. We had public adjusters. I almost wanted to become a public adjuster before I started a roofing company just because of how tough the industry was.
Yeah.
So we've taken a different bunch of different courses and classes in Atlanta, a couple of them that show you how to rebuttal insurance companies. So I'm almost having to become a lawyer when I'm talking to these insurance agents because I'm holding them accountable for the homeowner. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's the homeowner's claim, so they have to be involved as well. Because they don't care who Jarrett Allpro is.
Right.
They care about who Jerry is, who pays them money. So whoever's going to pay them to get them to that portion, they want to listen to them, not us.
Yeah.
Even if we're proving them wrong. But yeah, it's a rough industry. But I love it. Don't get me wrong. But it takes a lot of haggling back and forth sometimes.
Right. Yeah, negotiating with insurance companies, it's not fun. They try to save money. That's their business model. Mm-hmm. But you guys have taken classes. You've learned a lot of the business in order to, I guess, get a homeowner what they deserve, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's quick and easy. We just built one yesterday. Took about 2 weeks. So we filed a claim. Insurance came out, paid for the roof. We put it on within another week. We put it on yesterday. And we sent out the letter of completion, and it's completed. That was 2 weeks, and I've had claims that are still going on now that have taken over a year and a half. And it shouldn't be that hard for a house to get replaced, especially if we've proven the loss. Because that's the main thing for a homeowner is date of loss, knowing when the storm actually happened, and proving the loss of what your evidence of, hey, my contractor's proven this to you, and I've given you information showing why my roof needs to be replaced.
So after a storm, what should a homeowner do in order to make sure they're in the best position to get a claim approved by their homeowner's insurance?
Do your research when having a roofer come out. Ask questions. And what I mean by that is not use the biggest roofing company around. Now, they might be the best of help. They've been around a long time, but everyone can state they have 30 years experience combined. Doesn't necessarily mean they're doing anything correct.
That means they have 30 employees that all have 1 year of experience.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're doing things right.
Yeah.
I take pride of doing who you want to do your roof. And if that means having someone come out and do an inspection and you don't like what they're doing, call someone else. Have someone else come out.
Get a second
Stick to the first person. If you're not having a good vibe with that person who's coming out to help you, I mean, that's your biggest asset for your house is the roof, other than HVAC. It's something that's very important, especially it would be on my house. So I would just say there's a lot of, and I don't mean to keep going back on that, but there's just a lot of people in every industry, though, that are not doing things correctly.
Yeah.
And I see it every day with roofing. And I would just do your research is all I have to say.
Cool. Switching gears a little bit, when you got started, how did you figure out sort of how to brand your company and how to differentiate it from other roofers?
So kind of a two-part question there for me.
Two different questions.
Yeah. I've restructured my business starting last year, doing some coaching groups and some paid courses and subscriptions to restructure my business now. I'm at a point now to where we're hiring more people, and it wasn't just me. So when I just had my company, I didn't have any marketing. I didn't have any Google. I couldn't get Google. I was suspended on there for reasons.
What'd you do?
No, I had a partner that wanted to join with me, had an LLC created. He didn't want to join after like 2 weeks before we were opening. And I couldn't open up a business license. I couldn't a business account anywhere, and he didn't want to sign. And so I had to terminate the LLC. So that threw in a huge clause of why I couldn't get Google verified because he was on the partnership agreement.
Gotcha.
So we terminated that. He never signed any documentation. It was just a word for word agreement. So it never went. I guess it would never hold up in court of some sort. But to answer your question, It was just me for the first 2 years. It was literally just sun up, sundown, 7 days a week. That's all I did was door knock. Try to get as much lead generation as I could and to make money. And I knew what I had the capability of doing because I was already doing that with other companies, but I was just giving them money while I was running their whole business. So the second portion of that is now I'm implementing systems and processes and changing things up, making sure that when a new guy comes on or a new employee of some sort comes on, they know exactly what's going on with the business. They already have their trainings and stuff in front of them before they even know how to go out in the field and do it. Like we'll do like door-to-door role playing at the office, or if they need to learn how to actually read a roof scope, if they've never done roofing at all. I usually don't hire from other roofing companies because I want my guys to know how they're going to be doing work at All Pro.
Gotcha. So you don't want somebody who's come tainted with, bad
systems and processes, because if you don't have good system and processes, your business is going to fail. And that's the biggest thing. Is I tell any home or anybody who wants to start a roofing company, if your business, most roofing businesses don't last 2 to 3 years because they either die by death of cash flow because they can't sustain insurance. Because a lot of people go off of insurance restorations or insurance claims.
So what do you mean? The roofer has to
so pretty much they're waiting on checks. So like let's say if I had 5 sales guys and they're waiting on checks to get paid out, and then materials are getting paid out, and then my labor guys want money.
So you're doing the job and then waiting for the insurance company.
I'm the last one to get paid. My sales guys want to get paid. Obviously, my material guy, we have 30 days to pay them.
Yeah.
With my Jose, that is my
not your hose,
guy.
your Jose.
Yeah. Don't tell my wife that. my laborers want to get paid as well, so I'm the last person to get paid when it comes down to it. So, but waiting on these insurance checks, they could take months at a time.
Yeah. So
if I got guys asking me, "Hey, I want to get paid," and it's been 2 months, like people got bills to pay. So,
right.
It takes a lot. You got to be strategic with money.
Yeah. So are the insurance companies just delaying
on
purpose?
Yeah, they delay all the time.
Yeah. And we see that in the auto insurance and personal injury claims as well. Part of their business model, and it's documented, this is not just me speculating, is the more they delay, the more they make money on what's called the float, right? So they have this pool of money. They know they're going to have to pay out a claim, but whether they pay it out in 2 weeks versus 2 years, those 2 years is going to make them more money because they can invest that money. So part of their business model, for people that don't know, is to hold on to their money as long as they can, invest that money, and make money off the float.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's all evolving. The whole world evolves around money.
Yeah.
I tell that with everyone. Like, these insurance companies don't pay out, whether it's car-related, injury, lightning, tornado, storms, whatever it might be. It's all evolved around money. They're trying to make more money. They're trying to pay out less money. They change their tactics here. We want to change our tactics there to fight them. And it's all for the homeowner. So we have huge homeowner involvement when it comes to these things. The homeowner has no idea what's going on with their roof. And a contractor is just telling them, hey, we're going to take pictures, file a claim, and hope on a whim that this gets paid. You have no structure. You have no process. That homeowner has to put that trust in you to get that roof paid, or that car payment, or that car from a partial loss to a totaled vehicle. It's also a 1 year to file suit. And I'm sure that's the same thing for injury of some sort.
It's 2 years in a personal injury case. So it's 1 year for
1 year for roofing, depending on the insurance. State Farm's like 2. Also, Allstate got sued. They got in court. They're getting sued for denying claims. Like it says in their motto, adjusters were getting told by their managers in emails, delay, deny, defer. As a homeowner, if I was with Allstate and I had a adjuster telling me delay, deny, defer, and they're getting sued for that, and that's public record, probably not going to use them. You're not in good hands. You're in bad hands.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. Hey, blow that one up. I'll take it. Clip it.
Okay. So insurance, but that's the bread and butter that you said, right? You get a lot of insurance claims. What happens when, insurance denies a claim and they're not going to pay?
Yes, we have a proprietary system that we use to implement. We can do repairability tests and to prove that either the roof is not repairable, and we have to prove our loss. So we fight them. If they say, well, we don't owe for marring or deterioration, wear and tear, we have to prove that the actual storm happened. Same thing with PAs. PAs do the exact same thing, but they charge a percentage to come out there. So if it's something that I have to put in my mindset for the company itself. If my sales guys are down in Noonan, which is 2 hours away, is it worth going back and forth 8 times to get that roof replaced? Or is it easier just to send a PA out there, let them handle the whole claim and get it paid for then? But we usually send in our information and our systems before the adjuster even comes out, so they know what's happening before they even get on the roof. So if you're the adjuster, Jerry, and I'm the contractor, you have every piece of information in this claim, all of our documentation to prove the loss before you even look at the roof. So that way, I have an estimate already given to you, saves you time as an adjuster. So adjuster doesn't have to type up an estimate now. He doesn't have to look on his own claim and put it together a report because he already has one. But most of the time, they're going to blow that off. But then we hold them accountable. Hey, Jerry, did you look at our report? And have the homeowner ask that. Because they have to answer their questions, not ours.
Yeah.
They don't care who we are. And I don't know why, because we can't speak policy. A homeowner can speak policy. We can't. All we can do is hold the scope of work accountable.
Legally, are you allowed to, as a roofer, represent that homeowner with the insurance company? Are you allowed to negotiate with the adjuster?
Yeah, so we have a contingency agreement that they can sign. It's not a legalized contract. So most people who have bigger businesses like lawyers and all that, or buying a house or selling a house, they have legalized contracts. You sign that contract, you're held accountable for some reason to that. Roofing, you can sign a piece of paper that says a contingency agreement. Work doing, if we get the work approved through All Pro, you have to work with All Pro. That's just a scare tactic. Doesn't mean anything. Until there's some sort of money transfer, that contract means nothing. Tear it up. It's a piece of paper. So that's where we run into a lot with homeowners. If we don't build that trust and we get them a full roof replacement, there'll be another door knocker that comes by and say, hey, well, you got your roof approved? Yeah, we're working with All Pro. Did you get an estimate from them? Sure. I send an estimate every time. Most contractors don't. They wait on the insurance company to send them an estimate. And I'll get to that in a second. But you'll have another contractor comes by and says, well, how much did they pay for your roof? Oh, it's 20 grand. We can do it for 17. So they're cutting the profits down, which is insurance fraud. They've already got paid out. Now they're cutting it down. And that's what we run into a lot.
Trying to say that the homeowner will get that extra $3,000 in their pocket after the roof is replaced.
Fraud. Because if Allstate pays Jerry $20,000, I, as a contractor, have to send an invoice for $20,000. But if I send an invoice for 20 grand, but you paid me only 17 and you're keeping 3, you get caught doing that. It's a sentence, my man. And it's not a light one either, because they do stings here in Georgia too. Georgia's the number 1 state for vandalism.
Really?
So a lot of contractors go up and vandalize roofs. I see it all the time. I've gotten on roofs where I've told a homeowner, look, Jerry, I can't be involved with this claim. I'm going to have to either file this under vandalism or I can't file a claim at all.
What do you mean by that? Who did the vandalism?
So the roofer? Yeah. So contractors will get up there and they'll start tearing shingles up, emulating storm damage.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why a lot of contractors have gone to drones, but I have they do drone inspections, but I have my expectations. If I have to get up on a roof, if I'm flying a drone, I can't tell what the difference between blistering and hail is. So hail damage. I have to physically touch it. There's signs where I have to see that matting is completely broken. I have to visibly see if the granules are embedded in the shingle. I know that's a lot of detail, but that's why I don't do drone inspections. Unless it's something I physically can't walk, I'm getting on the roof. But I'll have a homeowner come out. I'll say, hey, Jerry, come outside, man. If I don't have that comfortability and I can tell within that first couple minutes, hey, Jerry, come on. You want me to do your roof inspection? Why don't you come outside and watch us? Drink a beer. Saturday, come on. I'll let them watch me physically do this roof, and I'll explain in the process. Look, you got hail damage here. You don't have enough damage here. This is what we should do. This is what we shouldn't do. At that point, I'm controlling the narrative. I'm helping the homeowner, but I'm letting them know, like, this is what we need to do or this is what we don't need to do. Same thing with insurance companies. They'll try to control the narrative.
Right.
I need to flip the burden back to them. Well, if you're not paying out for Mr. Jerry's roof, why is that? They'll state, well, it's repairable. Okay, well, I've proven to you it isn't repairable. And they go, well, we don't believe that. We believe the roof's repairable. That's a lot of factors that we hear a lot with insurance companies. So let's just say we had 25 damaged shingles on the roof, right? And they go, well, yeah, I'm Jerry. I'm the adjuster. We believe Mr. Mike's roof is repairable. Well, I can believe that the grass is blue and the sky is green, but it doesn't necessarily make it true, right? Until there's that proof.
Yeah.
Same thing with like a murder case or whatever it might be. Till there's that proof that his roof is not repairable or it is repairable, that doesn't hold up. It's not factual. So
interesting.
That's a little bit about us. We deal with it every day. So it's a stressful industry right now because it's gotten so tight.
Yeah.
In like Oklahoma, they put $1 billion lawsuit on State Farm.
Wow.
So
for fraudulently denying claims, is that
roofing? Yep. Yeah. And it's coming to Georgia. The Attorney General has already spoken about it. So we'll see if it helps out. If they tighten up or what.
Would you like to see the state go to have a license requirement for roofers?
1,000%. I appreciate every time I could talk to about somebody. Everyone should have a license. So we're working on a license called GARCA. It's a contractor's license with the state of Georgia. You're not required to have it, but there's only like 17 in the state of Georgia.
17 roofing companies that have that license?
Yes, out of 59.
And what type of license is that?
It's called GARCA.
Okay.
It's just a standard contractor's license, and I don't know much detail about it, but it's just another license that we can get. It's kind of like having a general contractor's license to an extent.
Yeah.
Just shows you're more professional in this industry. You're not just a fly-by-night roofer. You're not someone who's, chasing storms. I made a post about it yesterday. When storms happen, people flood. Contractors flood. They're chasing the money. I'm not necessarily going to that area if it's not somewhere local to me because no one knows who we are. They're going to go out there and go, who's All Pro? I don't know who that guy is. That's why we're trying to implement marketing and stuff now, is to get farther and farther throughout the state and then other states as well. But yes, to answer your question, I would love for Georgia to be a licensed state because we literally ran into like a roofer last month. And I talked to him, and I saw one of his sales guys on the roof literally tearing shingles. And I wish I had taken a video. No, like he was talking to me, and not even like 30 minutes later, I saw a sales guy from the same company, and they were just tearing shingles off the roof. And I'm like, as a homeowner, even if I'm doing that to I can't even say doing that because it's crazy, but why would you commit vandalism to emulate storm damage, even if you don't have the right tactics or can even guarantee that roof's going to get replaced? So it's, in my mind, you're just damaging roofs, committing insurance fraud, and damaging their roof for no reason. So now if it doesn't get paid for, because that's what they're implementing to try to do, is to implement the storm damage so that it does get paid for. But if you didn't,
then the homeowner stuck with a roof that's got
stuck with
shingles torn off it.
40 shingles that you just tore up, like for no reason. So you see it all, man. Insurance.
Is it rare to have a state like Georgia that doesn't have a license requirement? Or do most states have license requirements?
Some of them do, yes. I think Texas is a non-licensed state as well, and they're very big. And I tell all my buddies out in Texas and Kansas City, all these places that get big hail, man, I'd put y'all out of business if I was in an area with good storms.
Yeah. Thinking about moving? Or opening up another?
Maybe. I don't know. That's way down the road. Yeah. I'm not to that point yet. And people ask me that all the time. Like, man, roofing's a good business. I'm like, yeah, we do okay, but I'm not a big baller, man. Like, I stay humble to my roots. I think if you can do that, you'll grow. I do all these coaching courses and classes and these paid subscriber groups. I think if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And I hear that motto a lot. And I think it's very factual. If you're not learning different tactics and changing things up.
Yeah. I mean, along those lines, I don't think I've ever been in the right room. Do you have any plans to scale? Like, what is your big audacious goal with this company? Do you want to scale? Do you want to go nationwide? Do you want to stay local and small? What do you think? What do you think you want to do with this?
I wouldn't think about nationwide. I would love to scale. I mean, your end goal as a company is to scale and sell. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's my goal. Eventually, I don't want to do roofing forever. It's just something that fell into my lap. I would love to start something else. I'll do this while it lasts. You know, you hear that saying all the time, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. Mm-hmm. I think it's very true. I hate climbing roofs. I'm terrified of heights.
Really?
But I do it because this is what I've put myself into. So I eventually will sell the company if we get large enough. But I think we're at the beginning right now. And I think it took me 3 years from the start to now to figure out what I actually need to do to scale it. So 26 is the beginning for us. I think it took a lot of years for me to really understand how to run a business.
Yeah.
I just kind of
it's not
flying by the seat of my pants for the last couple of years. Not necessarily I was doing something wrong. It was just me.
Right. You got to learn.
Yeah. And I learned from hiring people, from good people to bad people, to losing a ton of money on jobs. Hell, I've roofed a wrong roof before, a wrong house. I had to pay for that house out of pocket.
Oh, wow. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I sent the wrong last digit to the address. And it was like,
wait, it was the wrong person's house?
Yeah. So it was like 1924 and it was supposed to be 1925. My guys had half the roof already tore off. And I was just like, dude. Mistakes.
Okay, let's stop right there for a second. So the homeowner comes out and sees.
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, you're at the wrong roof, and you got half of my roof tore off, so it's on me to replace it." So it cost me.
So did that person get a whole new roof for free?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even replace.
Well, you made it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you made a mistake,
but
you made it right.
We did it. So
yeah.
I also do want to implement this year of helping out someone in need.
Okay.
That is one of our goals.
Like do it some charitable work.
Yeah, I want to roof someone's house for free, free of cost. Now I know there's another company that does this, and it's actually kind of cool, and it's where I got the idea. Yeah. Is they'll get up on the roof and start roofing it without even letting the homeowner know, which I think is kind of crazy.
That's a little crazy.
But
you may want to talk to a lawyer before you do that one.
I was going to say, isn't that like illegal? Can you legally do that? I don't know if you can. Anyway, I watched a company. I don't know whether or not he just didn't know that they were getting the roof done. I think they bidded it of some sort. His family told him to go ahead and do it. But I would like to.
So somebody gave them permission to get up there.
Yeah. Okay. There's another company that I do Bible study with. They did the same thing last year for a homeowner. They had literally just OSB, and that was their insulation in their house.
Wow.
Like they were literally living on the street in a barn. It literally was a shack.
Yeah.
They had no insulation. It was just OSB, and they were like, "We're going to redo the whole house free of charge." That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of people use that for marketing.
Sure.
Which, yes, to an extent, that's what we're trying to do. But to an extent, I'm also doing that because I physically care for these people.
Yes.
I did a repair for a homeowner a couple of weeks ago, and it was, I don't know, $1,200 in materials. I didn't charge them for it. I've seen the same tarp on the roof for the last 2 years. And I'm like, guys, your tarp's starting to fall apart. Like that's there to prevent
the tarp.
Yeah, tarp the other tarp. So I stopped by there a couple weeks ago and I said, and she was not very friendly at first. She's like, "I don't want you on my property." And I said, "Ma'am, this tarp's been on your roof for 2 years. And I drive past it every day to work." And I literally do. I still do. And I still see the shingles that we put on there. And it looks much better now. But
okay, so how'd you convince her to let you on the roof?
I told her, I said, I noticed you had a tarp. She goes, "Yeah, we've had it worked on multiple times. Roofers, I know you're a roofer." And I said, "Yeah, but are they going to do it free?" And she said, "Well," and she stopped just like that. "Free? Like no cost? I don't have to buy materials?" And I said, "No, you don't have to buy anything. I'm going to do it for free." And I said, "Happy New Year." Something like that. Was a couple months ago, right on New Year's.
That's awesome.
And I said, I will do this for free of charge. Won't charge you for it. And replaced it. And now that's another homeowner that we have connection with. That's a story that she's going to tell. "Look, these guys came out and didn't even charge me for it.
Yeah.
They fixed my whole roof or partial of it." So I like doing things like that, man. I think that's what we're made to do in this world is help people. And there's a lot of shady things that go on in this world nowadays, and there's a lot of hate. And I think we're made to help people. I mean, that's our job. Some way, somehow, someone's struggling worse than you.
Yeah.
You know, people say we have it bad here. I don't think so.
Yeah. You mentioned your faith a few times. How has your faith played into your aspect or your outlook on business and informed what you do on a day-to-day basis?
I think faith is everything. And I've gotten my kids to, go to church with us. And it's funny because I listen to a lot of heavy metal music.
Yeah.
I have a big genre of music, and my daughter went for the first time last year. She goes, "We're listening to Jesus music in church." And I said, "Well, baby, yeah, this is what we got to listen to in church. We're not going to put Slipknot on in the radio in church." And she's like, "Well, I want to listen to some heavy metal when we get out of here." But long story short is faith has really helped me. It's helped grow our family. I think everyone has a place in that. I'm not here to preach on it. But to keep it short, I think it's really guided me and kept me sane.
And keep you honest, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeps you honest, and it really people who struggle every day have someone to look forward to, someone to talk to, and I talk to God all the time. And I think it's very humbling and, keeps you sane and honest, like you said, and it's
Besides the dealing with the insurance, what are the biggest issues that you run into as a business, as a company? What sort of things keep you up at night? What's the hardest?
I just think it's stressful. It's a lot. It's a lot in general just to own a company. I mean, my dad works for me too, my real dad. And
works for you.
Yeah, he's a project manager. I think that took him a little bit to get used to. He didn't like working for his 28-year-old son, but
I wouldn't imagine he would.
But he enjoys it. He doesn't like taking orders from me, but I'm like, and I'm not that type of boss. I'm pretty laid back, but there's a time when a boss has to implement things.
Oh yeah.
That you don't want to be like, yeah, we can be friends, but you do work for me at the end of the day. Even if you're a subcontractor, you're representing All Pro.
Mm-hmm.
You do something bad to represent All Pro, your ass is on the line. So, I think it's just a lot to handle, not necessarily at such a young age, but it's a lot on me. I'm trying, I'm the main primary holder for my house. I got kids that are in sports. So my wife's a little older than me, and she has a 12 and a 13-year-old. And Gia and Sophia, Gia's the oldest. And they make my day great, all three of them. Now, the testosterone in the house might not be there yet, but I have just a lot on my plate at all times. And I think you have to learn to control that.
Well, and you're young and you can handle it, right? You
to an extent. I got my grays coming out with a real beard.
You look good. So you've got the energy. You can handle it. What's next for the company? What is the next step in the next 12 to 18 months? What do you envision?
Growing as the company, always, but
yeah. Does that mean growing as far as hiring people, expanding territory?
Yeah, both.
Marketing?
Yeah, marketing for sure.
Okay.
Having marketing, I've already met with quite a few marketers at the beginning of this year. That's going to be a huge thing. And hiring massive people, that's the next thing. And then maybe some VAs of some sort to help out with
the back end.
Because I do all of our stuff, our CFCs, emails, packages, build reports. It's all from my house.
Okay.
So I don't have an office yet, but we're working on that. I think that hiring people will be the next thing. It's hard to find people that want to work. So I got really young guys that work for me. I mean, younger than me. One of my youngest guy is 19 that works for me.
Wow.
And he makes pretty good living right now. So he was working, doing his own landscape company, and he was like, "Man, I don't like owning a business. Some people don't like it."
Yeah. Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart.
Some people like that 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Not necessarily saying I don't. I worked a 9-to-5 for a long time, working at chicken house for 6 years. So
yeah. Jeez.
I mean, when I said I grew up in the sticks, I grew up in the sticks, man. I grew up shoveling crap for 6 years.
There you go. Yeah. It never ends.
No.
It's just a different flavor of crap.
Yep. I got shingle crap.
Yeah. Hey, if you have to give somebody who's looking at getting into, maybe not specifically the roofing industry, but the trades in general, what advice would you give a young 18, 19-year-old right now?
Stay true to yourself and take the young years to grind it out. Take 3 years of 7 days a week, grinding it out, and it'll pay off. You put your mind to it, it'll happen. And I tell that to everyone, whatever your industry you're in, if you want it bad enough, go get it.
Yeah. You got to do the work.
I tell my kids the same thing. Go get it.
Yeah.
No one can stop you. Want to be Elon Musk? Go be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Want to make $1 billion a year? Figure it out.
Yeah.
There's tons of options. The world is yours to chase, and if you have dreams, go get it.
Cool. How can people reach you and if they want to work with you?
So we just got our Google page up and going. Check us out on Google. It's All Pro Roofing Official LLC. So we have an All Pro Roofing Official on Instagram, and then you check out Facebook as well.
Okay. You got a phone number?
Yep, 470-978-9457.
Awesome. Jarrett Green with All Pro Roofing. Very enlightening. A lot of stuff about roofing and the industry that I didn't know. I think that was really cool, really valuable information. Thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Yeah. Thank you. Good job, man.
Great, dude.